Okay, so now for the stages of implantation itself. So there's 6 stages in implantation. In the first stage, what happens is that once the blastocyst is mature, then it sticks to the endometrium receptors, and this is stimulated by hormones. So you can see stage 1 happening here with the blastocyst sticking to the endometrium receptors on the uterine wall. In stage 2, what happens is that the trophoblast differentiates into the syncytiotrophoblast and the cytotrophoblast. The syncytiotrophoblast is like an invagination. It pushes in, and it's a massive cytoplasm that pushes into the endometrium. Whereas the cytotrophoblast, it's between the syncytiotrophoblast and the embryoblast. So you can see this here in the diagram of stage 2. You've got the uterine wall, the endometrium, sorry, and the trophoblast differentiated into the syncytiotrophoblast, which pushed in, and the cytotrophoblast, which lies between the syncytiotrophoblast and the embryoblast. I've also forgot to mention that the embryoblast also differentiates, and it differentiates into the ectoderm and the endoderm. And you can see this here. So the embryoblast is differentiated into the ectoderm and endoderm, with the cytotrophoblast between the embryoblast and the syncytiotrophoblast. In stage 3, what happens is that the syncytium, which is the syncytiotrophoblast, it pushes even further and dissolves into the endometrium, dissolves the blood vessels, allowing maternal blood to bathe the syncytium. Leading on from stage 3, you have stage 4, which is where the syncytium, not only has it now dissolved the blood vessels, but it also develops channels called lacunae channels. And these are channels for blood flow and absorption, which allow a utero-placental circulation, giving oxygen to the blastocysts. In stage 5, the syncytium infiltrates even further, and the rest of the blastocyst is pulled in, and the epithelium grows back around it. Finally, you have stage 6, which is pretty straightforward. The blastocyst is now fully implanted and covered by the epithelium, which is growing back around it in stage 5. And the syncytiotrophoblast grows even more to form fetal blood vessels. And you can see stage 5 and 6 here with the blastocyst fully into the uterus wall, with the endometrium grown back around it. So the syncytium has a few different functions. As I mentioned, it's formed from the differentiation of the trophoblast into the syncytiotrophoblast and the cytotrophoblast. It pushes into the endometrium walls and dissolves the blood vessels to allow maternal blood to bathe it. Then it forms lacunae channels, and then finally in stage 6 it forms the fetal blood vessels. So essentially it's a barrier between fetal and maternal blood. That's one of its functions. The other function is that the syncytium is responsible for switching off certain genes to prevent an immune response from the mother.